Hey guys, Luca here. I'm the creator of Neon Knights, and as promised, I was going to do a video of the box opening when I got the advanced copies. So these are the actual finished final products. This is what the backers are going to get, and retailers, and basically it's the final version. It's still sealed, so I'm going to be as surprised as you are when I open it, so let's get into that. Alright, so plastic is off, and I don't know if you could tell on the camera, but there's a few things that are foiled. Here we got the guns, some lights. This is UV printed, so there's a bit of shiny. I didn't want to do too much shiny stuff on it, didn't want to make it cheesy. But it's still pretty cool to have a bit of stuff that are foiled. Just the back, there's some foil spots. The lights are foiled. Some foil around the miniatures. And everything else is matte finish. Moment of truth. Let's see what's in here. So we got the 4 rulebooks in different language. You got English, French, German, and Spanish. All full color, a lot of examples and summary of cards and stuff like that. It's I had to print them a bit smaller than bigger rule books, but I find it while you're playing it's easier to go back to them and flip through them. This is the comic book that comes in each copy of Neon Knights. I got Pietro here, who did the artwork inside. Andrew J. Lucas is the writer. Diki, he's the guy that did the cars, and Alexander is the guy who did the cover, the box art. Hold on, let me bring it back to you. So Alexander did that. If you're looking for artwork or anything like that for a game, PM me, or for anything else, and I'll send you their information. If you're looking for stories for RPGs, Andrew's really cool. If you want to do comic book work, Pietro. And Diki, well, he does cars, but he's done a lot of my parts for the cars and logos and stuff like that. So I'll show you his work soon. It's written here, direct first print Kickstarter, #1 issue. We might make a Kickstarter, we'll see how it goes to continue the story. I got a designer's journey, a little bit of a diary here. This is the story. There's a lot of writing because I had to take the story and turn it into a comic book, but I didn't want to lose any of the story, so it's more of a graphic novel. This was the sample of the colored version. If we ever do a Kickstarter for the next 2 or 3 comic books, they're going to be colored. I got some sketch work here. These are all the backers, so if you back the game, your name is going to be in here. I got some of the people who helped me out during the campaign by sharing or doing a print and play video. All these people are super cool people. There's even websites that are really good that you can go check out. I got some stores who did some retailer pledge, so we'll be able to go check them out. If you have a Kickstarter or if you're doing a game, check out some of these people. They were really helpful getting Neon Knights out there. This is the credits page, so all these people were involved in making Neon Knights. It's not just a one-man team. You need a lot of people to get some of this stuff done. I got some advertisement here, try to make it feel a bit more like a real comic book. And our next game, which is Towers. You want to check that one out if you're into fantasy and stuff like that. And the back has some cars. So that's the comic book. Let's check out these punch boards. Double-sided tracks. Let's hope they punch well. Everybody has, oh, That was nice. There's nothing on the edges. You know, sometimes you get like a little bit of cardboard on each. Like, there's nothing here. This is like, I just picked this up and the other one fell out. So far, the punch is very good. They come out clean. These two. I'm going to fast forward this bit. I'll punch everything out and see if there was any problems. There's some tokens here. These are extra tokens that I decided to put in during production because, well, there was empty space, and I figured why not use that empty space to make some tokens that are going to be useful to keep track of fan bet cards. So these are going to help out. And I did a few of these tokens in case you ever want to do like a personalized track and you want to add maybe a repair there, or you want to add a shield there. So these tokens are good to customize your track, so unlimited customization for your tracks. This is the board, which I am gonna open after seeing all the other components. So we got here the player boards, 6 players, double-sided. So if you don't like this car, you could have this car. Not a fan of Lamborghini, you might want a Ferrari. Toyota 86, my personal favorite. We got an Audi over here. So these are, well, Audi, not really Audi, because, you know, don't want to get sued, but these cars are pretty much inspired by real cars from the 80s. This is good because a lot of people don't have these in their board game, but if you're shipping by bolt, it gets really humid, and these remove humidity. So if you're making a game on Kickstarter, and just try to remember to ask your manufacturer to throw this in, and you could leave it there. It's gonna be, I mean, it's very good, especially if you live in a humid area or whatever like that. So these are really good. Let's check out the cards. Alright, so the cards are open. Really nice. Colors came out really good, and there's a linen finish to them, so that's going to be really nice. I'm going to separate these cards, and I'm going to open up the actual board. Alright, so I got a quick setup here of a player board. He's kind of naked, he doesn't have anything around him, but these are the cubes that you're going to be keeping track of your credits, your points. These are reputation points that you spend to buy upgrades, implants basically for your driver. This is your damage track, so we got like cubes for that. They were supposed to be wooden cubes, but then I thought it'd be cooler to have like some transparent, translucent cubes like this, so we went with those. I went with this because this is basically your speed, your gear shifting. So it feels like a gear shift. That's why I went with a token that is kind of standard in gaming, but I like the feel of that when you're changing speeds. So these are the implants. For those of you who haven't been following too much, these are things that you're basically gonna upgrade your car, your driver with. So if your driver is a tuner, you'd put this here. You could have 3 of them. So now he has +2 power. He could be a weaponeer, right? So you implant that into him, and now he does +1 damage. So these are things, implants that you could use on your driver, and you basically buy these. See, if you want to buy this one, it would cost you 4 reputation in shields. Then you have, these are the starting parts of your vehicle. So if you look down here, this is where you install your parts. So everybody is going to start with a starter brake, a starter engine, starter tires, and Starter Turbo. So these parts are your starting parts, but you'll be able to trash these to gain 5 credits, so you could sell these parts, or you'll be able to replace them at a garage, which I'm going to show you later on. I made these cards. They're basically actions summary cards, and if you're playing like in Germany with German people, you could take this and put it somewhere on the board, and then people know what kind of actions they can do on their turn. I'll go over those quick. You could get a sponsor, visit the shop, buy an upgrade, draw a fan bet, repair armor, or install implants. So these are actions you could do on your turn, and you can only do one of them. Now these are the pawns, basically your car. Depending on the color of your player board, it's going to be your car. So since I'm playing with the pink player board, my car is going to be the pink one. This is the starting grid, so this is where all the races begin. What's cool about this is I made the sizes big enough for micro machines. So if you have micro machines, if you were a collector, or if you could even find any more somewhere around your house, you could go buy your own and then replace these with micro machines. Just make sure the wheels are locked, because you don't want to cheat and roll a few spaces ahead. So this was one of my worries, if the card would actually fit in the slots when you flip them over, and they fit perfectly. So these are the sponsors that you could acquire during the game, which give you money, and these are the parts that you could buy. So if you want to buy an engine and it's located here, you're gonna have to spend 45 credits to buy it. And I'm really happy the way it turned out, that it actually fits. I was a little bit worried, but so that's what the store looks like when it's fully stocked with cards. If ever you buy a part, you slide these over and a new one would show up. It's a good way of blocking other players from getting a part they might need, or upgrading your own car. Now here we have the black market. This is where you could buy weapons, utilities, and stuff like that for your car. So super brakes. There's a few duplicates. There's guns, ammo, special ammo that deal more damage, shields to protect against other people's weapons, rail guns that do heavy damage the further you are. So these are all things that you can buy and then equip onto your vehicle. Alright, so this is the track. There's a lot of tiles that are going to come in the game to create your own personalized track, and there's these tokens that you could use to change the track, add things to it. If you don't like that there's a repair here, maybe turn it into a special. So these are just things that I added in the punch board. There was space for it, so I put it in. You could be creative with it. Give it to whoever's losing, which is the player who usually creates the track, and he could choose how he wants to place these. I mean, you could be creative with these. Another way of creating the track is playing campaign mode, is using these stages. These stages have numbers and letters on them, and each track has a number and letter on it. So at the beginning of every turn, you'll flip over the card, choose those tiles, and then whoever's in last is going to be the one who's going to be placing the tiles. And we have these fan bet cards. These are things that if you accomplish during a race, you'll get some credits and some victory points for doing so. So for example, if you didn't repair during the entire race, you'll gain $25 and 2 victory points. And for these, that's why I did these markers here, these wrench markers or these damage markers, because depending on some of these, you'll have to keep track on how many you did. So if you haven't repaired, you put that there, that it's something you've done. Here, if you do 3 or more damage, you keep track with these tokens. So, I mean, it's a good way of keeping track of things. There was space on the punch board, so I added those in. All of these are explained in the rulebook, at the last page. So if you go to the end, they're all explained here. But I added a small reminder in English. Sorry guys for the other languages, but it's really small up here in case, I mean, I got a lot of US backers. Most of my backers are US, so I went with the English on these cards. But in the back of every rule book, it's explained what your mission card is. Now let's take a look at some of the equipment on your vehicle. So you could have a gun installed here. You could have shields installed here, and any two special upgrade here and here. Basically, during the race, if you ever use a gun, you check the range, the damage, and how many targets you can do, and then you flip it over to say that you've used that weapon. If ever you land on one of these, you could reactivate your weapon and then use it again, or save it for next round, because if you do use your weapons and your shields and you cross the finish line and you didn't reactivate them during the game, you lose them. So originally we had these damage dice. When you would take a curve really fast, you would roll the dice to see how much damage you take, or if you actually don't take damage and gain fans. So the rule is, if you roll and you gain all blanks, you would gain fans. So we said, why not put the fans icon to remind players that if you took no damage during a curve, you drifted, you did a nice curve, the fans went crazy, so you would gain 3 fans on your player board. So these are your fans. During the race, you're trying to raise them as high as possible, and when you start getting more than 5, you basically get victory points instead. But when you take damage, you lower some fans. So try to drive safe and not take too many risks. But if you do push your luck and you do roll a lot of fans, then you're getting a lot of victory points. Now, one of the last things I want to mention is the corporations. These are sponsors. They go here, and when the calendar, the turn marker, reaches payday here, you would discard them and make that much money, and you increase in your reputation for that company. So the more you get sponsored by them, the more reputation you make. With this reputation, you could go buy implants for your driver. When the calendar marker reaches the race, that's when you stop all actions and the race begins. You'd basically do 3 different races, and at the end, whoever has the most victory points wins the game. If you play campaign mode, you could go through as many stages as you decide to choose, and then whoever has the most victory points wins there. Or you just say, guys, let's do 1 round, 1 quick race, and play in 20-15 minutes, do a nice race, and if you want to continue, you do. If not, call it a night. Alright, so for recap, there is a lot of stuff in this game. I mean, when I lifted the box, it was really heavy. I wasn't expecting that. Shipping might be an issue if you're a store owner and you want to ship these out to clients. It might be a little bit heavy, but I think it's worth it. The client's going to be super happy with what's inside. I think as backers, if you remember how much you paid for this, it wasn't much, and you're getting a lot of stuff in here. 4 different language rule books, a comic book, a lot of components, a lot of tiles, and a bonus of the cards being linen. I'm not sure how to show you this on screen, but it's kind of like a matte finish, and it glares less than glossy cards. We got the foil on the box, which was really nice. Those are little things that I wanted to add, which made the production quality go a bit slower. I'm sorry for my delay. Like even getting the dice to have like the fans on them, and then these extra tokens I wanted to make sure that the game was exactly how I wanted it to be, and I wanted to make sure that when a backer gets the game, they're satisfied, they're happy with what they got. I mean, even these little action cards were last minute add-in. I just wanted to make sure everything was there. What I was really afraid of was when I punched out if there was going to be some kind of tear or nothing that would, like, you know, be annoying. And it's cut perfectly. The production is amazing, and the company I went with, basically, it's Rick Schrand. If you're someone who's starting a Kickstarter or is looking to manufacture games, contact Rick. He's really cool. He made it a breeze for me to get my idea basically put on paper and in production. So I'll put his information in the description below. Contact him. He's always looking to help people in the business, and I believe I've went over everything in Neon Nights. If you have any questions at all about the game or manufacturing or making a Kickstarter, anything like that, contact me. I'll be glad to answer and help in any way I can. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.